A false claim made in the defense of the MAGA mob that stormed the Capitol on January 6th has been obliterated thanks to Republicans. According to congressional reporter Jamie Dupree, the latest footage from that day by House Republicans directly rebukes the claim that Capitol Police had stood by and opened the door to allow the rioters to come in. That claim has been used as evidence the police were entrapping Trump supporters and tricking them into committing acts of violence and destruction. This is the whole Fedception narrative, to which in this case there's no evidence of. Dupree posted this on X, courtesy of House Republicans. I went to watch 3 more hours of January 6th security tapes from the Capitol today. The tapes show the biggest lie about January 6th is that the cops opened the door to let the Trump supporters in. That did not happen. His post included this footage, which I'm going to show you. You can see that at no point in the footage did police stand aside or open the doors to allow MAGA supporters to stroll in. They pushed their way in, they fought against police officers, they caused millions of dollars in damage throughout the buildings, jeopardized the safety of members of Congress while they were certifying the electoral count. These were not peaceful protesters. They were not tourists, okay? In fact, some of them were armed and arrested on various weapon charges, which debunks another one of their false claims that, well, they weren't even armed. Yeah, they were. Now, it's funny because the whole idea floated by Republicans in releasing this raw footage is that, see, the January 6th committee, they had somehow altered the footage to make the peaceful protests look like a violent insurrection. Well, you guys just saw the same unaltered footage that I did. Does that look like a peaceful protest to you? Or does that look like the cops were just letting him in and entrapping MAGA people? Now, here's the thing about that. Have police used entrapment before? Absolutely. Have they instigated violence against or among protest groups? Yes. They're very well known to have used those tactics before. The thing is, generally, those tactics are used against left-wing groups, not right-wing groups. It is historical fact that social justice movements have been targeted by law enforcement groups who have used infiltrators with the goal of diminishing the movement's popular support by making them look like they're violent and bent on property destruction and damage. That's it. In fact, one of these movements had actually planned to protest the nomination of George W. Bush at the Republican National Convention back in 2000. 4 state troopers infiltrated that movement and tried to convince the other protesters to destroy property and resist arrest. Now, the police had publicly claimed that the group was planning violent demonstrations and had somehow hidden bomb-making materials. Very serious charges, right? So what ended up happening on August 1st, 2000 was a mass police raid on what was known as the Ministry of Puppetganda. That's right, there were puppets involved. Police had confiscated puppets, floats, signs, and other materials that were going to be used in upcoming marches. They did not find anything illegal, did not find bomb-making materials or anything dangerous. In fact, most of the people that were arrested by these police officers in that raid were charged with misdemeanors like resisting arrest, which is just a BS charge that they pile on you in order to arrest you and charge you with something. Now, This led to 0 convictions. I know, a whopping 0 convictions. They dropped all the charges, and oh look, this ended up having numerous lawsuits that were settled against the city of Philadelphia for these police officers that were assigned to infiltrate the group and create pretext for this raid on this group that was just peacefully demonstrating. Yeah, so that's the important context here, right? In social justice protests, you have police officers that do infiltrate and escalate violence. But in this case, when it comes to the MAGA protests, it's the MAGA guys that did it. There were no Fed infiltrators, okay? There's no evidence of that. And you know why? It's because law enforcement doesn't target the right wing. Law enforcement is usually on the side of the right wing. They protect the right wing. So this is why MAGA is so befuddled by this entire thing, by people actually getting arrested and charged and convicted on actions that they had taken on January 6th. They're like, oh my God, consequences, that's not for us. No. They, by the way, they've also responded with pushing conspiracy theories and just flat out victimhood. Oh, it's the feds, the Fedception, you got all these the infiltrators. They're just making the Trump supporters look bad. That's all it is. We're innocent. No, you're not innocent. So this is the big lie, which is caused by another big lie. And that was the one that Trump was telling all of his followers. And that's why they were there in the first place. He was encouraging them to storm the Capitol building to disrupt the certification of the election so that he could stay in power. That's the reality of January 6th. It was all MAGA people in support of MAGA, all for Trump's benefit.